Problem of the Week staff selected 3 names to use for this week's problem about athletes. And the 3 names chosen just happened to be names of actual fictional characters. But we hope the problem solvers didn't get bogged down thinking about the actual fictional characters, because if they did, it would be very difficult not to make Katniss number 1 in both categories. In fact, the Problem of the Week staff spent the week doing some computer-simulated competitions. And this is what we came up with. Katniss versus the Black Widow, the winner, Katniss. Katniss versus the Powerpuff Girls, the winner, Katniss. Katniss versus the entire Cullen family, and the winner was Katniss. Then it was Katniss versus Iron Man, and of course, Katniss was the winner. Then it was Katniss versus Elizabeth Swann. It was close, but the winner was Katniss. Then it was Katniss versus the Green Bay Packers. This one goes without saying. Then it was Katniss and he who cannot be named, but of course Katniss prevailed. And then it was Katniss versus Chuck Norris. Well, this one was a tie. It's Chuck Norris. And then it was Katniss versus Hermione Granger. And on this one, the nod went to Hermione Granger. But let's get back to this week's problem. We're going to put the first letters of each name on each blank, and then we're going to read the clues. The first clue tells us that Rue is not the strongest and also not the slowest. The second clue tells us that Katniss is not the fastest. And the third clue tells us that Primrose isn't the slowest, she isn't the strongest, and she isn't the fastest. So now we know that Rue has to be the fastest, Katniss is the slowest, Katniss is also the strongest, and there's only one name left for the second fastest, and that's Primrose. And then we re-examine the third clue, and since Primrose is weaker than the fastest athlete, Primrose is weaker than Rue, and there you have it, the answer to this week's Problem of the Week.
Even when you're sleeping, keep your eyes